She-Hulk, ladies and gentlemen, episode 8, Rabbit and Ribbit, and that was a missed opportunity because it should have been called The Hulk and the Devil. And it's your boy Icon with some Marvel TV, and I am happy to say Matt Murdock has saved this programming because the episode starts. There's a client that Jennifer's talking to. It is some random rich douchebag that refers to himself as the frog master or the frog hopper or the frog man, whatever the hell. Something has to do with frogs because his last name, is reminiscent of Tadpole. So he basically got this suit made because he wanted to be a superhero. And when he was out trying to fight crime, the suit malfunctioned on him, and because the suit blew up and he got his ass kicked by the criminals, he now wants to sue the person who made the suit. So Jennifer asks, well, who's the client? And then he reveals that the drip master of Mr. Jacob is the person who made the suit. And I keep forgetting that this show takes place in California. And I swear to God, I thought she was in New York this whole time. So now this is uncomfortable for Jennifer because, the Jacob, the drip master, I'm actually, so nobody called him that in this episode, thank God. So I'm gonna stop doing that. So they said to him, she actually, she tried to talk to, well, first she talked to her boss. And then she was just like, listen, she's like, I'm She-Hulk. This guy makes clothes for She-Hulk. And now you want me to sue him. If I end up, coming after the guy that makes my clothes, he's going to stop making my clothes. And that's going to be awkward for me. And it's very weird because, her boss never wants to be on her side about anything. And every single time she brings legitimate concerns, like ethical concerns, to her boss's attention, he's always disinterested, or he's always trying to get her to go against that grain. And that's starting to become very weird to me. What's the problem her boss has with just letting her, not take the case because she said it's a conflict of interest. But I mean, maybe that'll turn into something later and we'll find out that her boss is behind this whole thing. But he told her, he was like, well, listen, he said, if it bothers you that much, just get the tailor to sign something or take, a small amount of liability, and then, we can just move on from the whole thing. So that's uncomfortable because now she has to go back to the guy. She has to go, back to Jacob and ask him, to basically pay for the damage to the suit. So of course, because he's Mr. Flamboyant, he was immediately offended in the most flamboyant way possible. And he was just like, oh, I don't make faulty suits. And, he was like, how dare you question, my ability. And then he took it to the extreme and then was like, I'll never make a suit for you again, you big green cow. And I'm just like, it's not that serious. So then he gets upset, and then she got mad because he got mad, and then now they're both mad. And then she gets mad, and then she leaves. So after she leaves, we're in court now. So now that we're in court, Jacob, he was there and his attorney hadn't arrived yet. So we saw in previous episodes that he was making a costume for Daredevil. So naturally, because he was making a costume for Daredevil, who happens to be Mr. Jacob's lawyer but Matt Murdock, thank God. So Matt Murdock comes in, and it was very refreshing because I thoroughly enjoyed the Daredevil series. And I missed Matt Murdock. I missed how much I missed Matt Murdock. Just seeing him in court and him doing his thing, in court, and then him and Jennifer was jousting back and forth. And he even brought up something interesting. He said that because Jennifer said something about having Jacob's clients come in to attest to his craftsmanship, regarding suits. I mean, she would be on that list because, he made one for her. But, Matt said that that's not a good idea because the Sokovia Accords apparently got rescinded. And I'm like, when did that happen? There's been no Marvel property, no Marvel movie, TV show. We did this whole thing with Captain America Civil War based on the Sokovia Accords. And now magically the Sokovia Accords have been rescinded, and that never got explained. And we're just supposed to accept that and move on. I have a problem with that one. But he said because of that, the clients, want anonymity, because they don't want to be outed or whatever. And then that's when, the frog guy, he was just like, oh, he got upset because he was just like, oh, I expect to be, compensated, for my pain and suffering regarding the suit. And then he actually had the suit with him. He picked up the suit and he was just like, how am I supposed to fight crime in this horrible thing? And then, Matt Murdock, because he's blind, all of his other senses are enhanced. So he was able to smell jet fuel on the costume. And then that's when he asked him, he was like, sir, he was like, what are you using to power the suit? And then he was like, I'm using jet fuel. And then that's when Jacob was like, I didn't tell you to do that shit. He was like, he said, I left specific instructions to not use jet fuel. And then that's when the judge was like, well, shit, if he gave you like a list of do's and do nots and you did them anyway, then this, court is adjourned. Like, we rule in favor of the drip master. So, case dismissed. So then after that, Jennifer tried to apologize to him with the hopes that he'll make her suit again. And then because apparently she's going to the lawyer awards because she's on the ballot for like best female lawyer, and then he told her to kick rocks because he was like, our relationship is severed, again being overly dramatic. And she tried to talk to the client after she lost, and then she went and goes to the bar. She goes to the bar, Matt Murdock is at the bar, the two of them come over, they have a nice conversation. She immediately wants to give him the Hulk draws, but there was a moment where like he had got a ping on his phone, she got a ping on her phone, and then Matt left to go, investigate what the ping on his phone was. So when Jennifer gets a call, well, she ended up getting two calls. The first call that she got was from the guy that called her a specimen, and I don't even remember when that happened. But and even then, like somebody had left a comment on my previous She-Hulk video saying that the person that referred to her as a specimen is most likely the person who's behind this whole thing and this internet gang and everything. And there might be some truth to that. I mean, I don't remember this guy. Like, I honestly don't remember this guy. But, they showed the clip of him, and I'm just trying to remember, like, when the hell did that happen? But, but that makes perfect sense, though, because if he's somebody that keeps, like, lingering around and he specifically referred to her as a specimen, then it makes perfect sense why he would be trying to get her blood, for whatever reason. But anyway, so she went and had a conversation with him, and his whole purpose of bringing her down there was basically so he could try to kick it to her. She got mad, threw the drink in his face and like walked away. The other call that she got was from her fraud client, who said that he was in trouble and he was being chased by somebody and his life was in danger. Jennifer went to go save him, to go help him out. And then she decides, and that was weird, because why would you, if you just got into an argument with Jacob over him never making you a suit again, why would you then put on the suit that he made you and go out and fight crime? I mean, there was even a moment where Matt had spoke to her and he said that he was just like, oh, Jennifer Walters can, fight the legal way for superheroes. And if the law fails, then She-Hulk can step in, and provide justice. So I'm like, but that wasn't the cause to put the suit on. You know what I'm saying? Because like her mindset should have been like, fuck Jacob and his suit. And she just threw it in the trash. But anyway, so she puts the suit on, and I'm not gonna lie, the suit looked kind of silly. Like this, I understand it's comic book accurate. It just looks silly. And then it looks silly when she was She-Hulk, and it looks silly when she wasn't She-Hulk. Like she looked like one of those people that they put the suit on and like mimic certain things to make video games out of. I thought it was like some weird soccer. Like she almost looked like a Power Ranger. Like she just needed a helmet. I thought the suit was silly. But anyway, so she puts the suit on. She tries to help the client, and then when she tries to help the client, Daredevil shows up with his new red and gold outfit, which is not what he wore in the TV show, but it's supposed to be comic book accurate. I thought the gold, I don't like the gold. The gold is too much. The gold's a little too much, but I said, this is what we're going with, so this is what we're going with. So the two of them get into a fight in the parking lot, and then her client gets away, and then that's when, she took off his helmet and let everybody know that it was Matt Murdock, and then that's when they got into a conversation, and then Murdock told her that your client is actually the bad guy. He kidnapped Jacob, and he has him being held hostage at his hideout, and he was going down there to save him. So now Jennifer's like, well, shit, my client's the bad guy now, so now I got to go in and do the right thing. So the two of them go in. There's playful banter going back and forth between the two of them. They go into the building. We got a classic Daredevil fight scene. Because, like in the Daredevil series, there's always like that one fight scene where it's like him versus like 39 people. So we got one of those in She-Hulk, a classic Daredevil, like hallway scene. And then She-Hulk interrupted the hallway scene, and she busted in and like crushed like 30 dudes. They go in, they confront, the frog. And then when they confront the frog, that's when, Jennifer finds out like, wow, this dude really is the bad guy. And, and he tried to take over the world. He had like goons and henchmen, and there was a conversation over that. And then after that, like they fought everybody, they defeated everybody, they rescued the Drip Master, and then like everybody got arrested and locked up and blah, blah, blah. So then now, after that, Murdock and She-Hulk had a conversation on the roof. And then that's when, one thing led to another. And then, the Daredevil got him some of the she. And then the next morning, and that was weird too, because and even then, like when Jennifer said to him, she was like, when do you fly back to New York? And I was like, that's right, they're not in New York, they're in California. But then like the next morning, Daredevil, he went back to his hotel or went to the airport still dressed as Daredevil. And that was obviously done for comedic purposes, because Matt Murdock I understand it was done for comedic purposes, but Matt spent the entire episode talking about and defending the secret identity. So if your whole thing is like the superhero secret identity is sacred, and you don't do interviews with with the news reporters, and you don't talk to the cops because of your secret identity, why are you walking home in the costume? Why are you walking home barefoot in the costume? I was like, they sacrificed logic just to have a cheap laugh, and I was like, I would be remiss if I didn't point that out. So so he leaves. And, after he leaves, Jennifer wakes up because she just got her some of the Daredevil. Her friend shows up and she's like, I just saw somebody dressed in a devil costume doing the walk of shame. And, that's when her friend was just like, oh, you got to get dressed, because we got to go to the award show to get, to do like lawyer hero of the year. And before all that happened, when and that was funny because Jennifer didn't even care that when she woke up, Matt was gone. But she even said, because she had her moment where she had to talk to the camera, she specifically said when she talked to the camera, one, it did feel like the episode should have ended a long time ago. Two, she mentioned the whole thing of, because she was like, oh, what's supposed to happen now? Like, is there more happening? And then she said, so unless it's like somebody using my blood to turn into a Red Hulk, or her ending up in the fridge. So once she said that, because that's what everybody was saying, they were just like, maybe it was General Ross that's trying to like get her blood so he can become Red Hulk. And then she said something about her ending up in the fridge. That automatically took the Red Hulk thing off the table because she never would have brought it up. So now I'm just like, well, that debunks, that debunks that whole theory. So what else could be happening? But she's like, we're going to the gala. And that was unrealistic too, because if you just saved Jacob last night, how you get the damn dress that quickly? Like, he ain't that good. But, so he ended up putting the dress on. Her parents are there, like all of her friends are there. They go to the award show. And then while they're at the award show, they ended up giving the award for best female lawyer to like 9 people. And I was immediately confused. It wasn't even best female lawyer at your law firm, because there were multiple people there from, like, the black girl was there from Jennifer's law firm. I was like, why are 9 people getting one award? Like, this doesn't make sense. I need an explanation. That was never explained though, because they were going down the line, like asking everybody what the award means to them. I'm like, is this one of those everybody gets a trophy situations? But then after that, that's when someone had taken over the television screen, and they said they were posting pictures and everything. They were just like, oh, She-Hulk isn't who she claims to be. And then there was, all the stuff that people were writing about her on the internet. And then the person who she slept with 2 episodes ago, they uploaded the footage, because remember I was like how he was taking pictures of her while she was naked in the bed. He basically recorded the 2 of them having sex, and he uploaded that footage for all of her friends and family to see. And oh my God, Jennifer was horrified, and she was like, mortified and disgusted, to the point where she got angry, and then she raged out, and then she ended up, she destroyed the screen, and then people started running and screaming and everything. So now all of a sudden She-Hulk is the bad guy. And I guess whether it was the guy that referred to her as a specimen, whether it was someone else who's behind this whole thing, that kind of soured me a little bit, because it's coming across now that whoever's behind this whole thing, this isn't a carefully thought out process of someone who's trying to obtain justice. It now comes across as, you probably asked Jennifer out on a date, she said no, so now you're going to destroy her image. And I feel like the reasons behind why someone's coming at her is going to be silly when we eventually find out. But the question of the blood is still out there. So whether or not the blood and the person that posted her sexual exploits, whether the 2 are related, that remains to be seen. But that's how the episode ended, with Jennifer being enraged. And then she saw the person that I guess had put that footage in there, that Jack the Feet or whatever. She ran outside. She had the guy by the throat. And then for some reason, the cops were immediately there. And, they had the guns pointed on her. And then she ended up dropping the guy. And at no point, I was like, are you not going to say at any point, hey, that's the guy that put me on blast on TV? They just let him run away, mask and all. And the cops had the guns on her. And then she was caught in the crossfire. Then she ended up standing down, and that's how the episode ended, with her, I guess, going to jail. And thank you for tuning in. So the ending could have been handled better, but at least something is happening. My biggest complaint, and here's when I say Matt Murdock saved the show, the one thing I will say about this particular episode, and I've said this before, I don't have a problem with Jennifer Walters as a character. I'm actually okay with Jennifer Walters being the one idiot in the room. If she's the only person making jokes and doing dumb, goofy shit, I'm fine with that, as long as everyone else around her takes this shit seriously. And for the situation that she was in, even for Jacob, obviously he's eccentric, and he's like extravagant, blah, 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 but he's also still serious. You know what I'm saying? Like Matt Murdock was taking it serious. Like everybody was taking it serious. So as long as everyone around her is being serious, because like, everybody can't be funny. Like somebody has to take this serious. So as long as everybody else is being serious, I'm okay with her being the only idiot in the room. So that was perfectly fine. But again, I'm just soured now because the whole thing about taking her blood and trying to expose her as like a monster or whatever, I'm under the impression now that this is just somebody who got his feelings hurt, and it's not it's not like this, it's not like a big, it's gonna end up being something stupid. So it's like, but on the other hand, at least something's finally happening, because we got 4 episodes of absolutely nothing, and it's actually nice to see something happening for a change. But thank goodness to Matt Murdock for actually, bringing some professionalism to She-Hulk. So I actually, I approve of episode 8. It legitimately feels like the show just started. I feel like I just watched the first episode of She-Hulk for the first time, and I'm going to ignore. Well, we'll keep the first. All right, we'll keep the first episode. I'm going to ignore the previous 6. I'm going to pretend, because to get to the point that we got in this episode, all the shit that happened in the previous 6 episodes honestly could have been condensed into like 2 episodes. So for me now, the show just started. Hopefully, like this, what happened in this episode, hopefully this continues. Out of all the Disney Marvel shows, we've only, aside from WandaVision, we only get 6 episodes, and this is the one show for some reason that wants to dish out 10. So we're gonna get 10 episodes of this, and so that means we got 2 more to go. But I said, if the last 2 ends up actually having a point, then fine, and I'll definitely accept that. Why was Matt Murdock not at the Lawyer Awards? I got a problem with that. It's the Lawyer Awards. You're a lawyer. You are in town. There was no reason for Matt Murdock to not be at those Lawyer Awards. And it would have been nice to have him team up with She-Hulk for the remaining 2 episodes. But who knows? Maybe he'll come back. We'll see. But share your questions, comments, and or concerns down below. What did you think about this particular episode? Did you like Daredevil? Are you happy to see Matt Murdock back in action? What did you think about, She-Hulk's costume? Do you think the reveal of whoever's coming after her, do you think it's going to actually be something interesting? Or do you think it's going to be more comedic BS? Let me know in the comment section below, and we will continue to talk about it. As I record this video, I am officially back from New York City Comic Con. I was there 2 days on Friday and Saturday, interviewed a lot of people, took a lot of footage. I did an interview for the group known as the Ghost Brothers. They have a show on Paramount where it's 3 black dudes that investigate paranormal activity. I will post that interview separate, and I may do 1 or 2 videos just for my overall experience of Comic-Con and interviewing all the cool people and the cosplayers. Check me out on Twitter and or Instagram, always on YouTube, where you can leave your questions, comments, and concerns. Hit the notification bell, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because we're definitely rolling. Titans is coming up soon. We got the trailer out for Titans, and I can't wait for that. And we're also going over Stargirl. So until next time, guys, for some She-Hulk action, let's pray that things get better from here. But until now, I'm excited about this episode. Keep it locked, and for the Daredevil of Hell's Kitchen, we'll see you next time.